Damascus. Rivers State Police Command has arrested 4 suspects for allegedly murdering 2 7-year-old children, Chizaram, Onuche, and Chidinma, Onuche, for ritual purposes. Police spokesperson Grace Ingirige Koko, in a statement issued in Port Harcourt, said operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit apprehended the suspects, including a native doctor. Preliminary investigations revealed that 27-year-old Aneka Uko lured the children to an uncompleted building in the second pipeline area of Rukboko, where he drugged them with an energy drink before killing and dismembering their bodies. Further investigations led to the arrest of Kingsley Opurum, a 43-year-old native doctor who allegedly instructed Oko to provide human body parts and blood for a ritual intended to bring him wealth. 2 other suspects, including Oko's girlfriend and a man identified as Friday Silas, 47, who allegedly allowed his uncompleted building to be used for the crime, have now been taken into custody. Police recovered incriminating evidence from the crime scene, including photographs, a bottle filled with the victim's blood, and an empty energy drink can. Commissioner of Police Olusegun Adepoju assured the public that the suspects would be prosecuted while investigations continue to identify any additional accomplices. Now, the growing menace of ritual killing remains a significant concern in Nigeria, with cases of human sacrifice often linked to individuals seeking wealth and power through spiritual means. Similar incidents have been recorded in recent years, including the January 2022 case in Ogun State, where 4 young men were arrested for killing a teenage girl and burning her head for ritual purposes. Authorities have continued to warn against the rise in ritual-related crimes, urging community vigilance and stronger law enforcement to curb the disturbing trend. You know, for so long, we've had too many cases of ritual killings. We had the one where the boy had, invited the girl, I think, what was that his name? Toju, had invited the girl and had equally cut off her part and even way-billed it to Ibadan. Right. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this report?
To be very honest with you, I feel like these people do not have human sympathy. Right? Because to get wealth, you're not going that extent to kill somebody, like take away human life.
Right.
It's really despicable, honestly, to kill somebody for wealth. Meanwhile, there are other businesses or other things you can venture into legitimately that could fetch you money, not killing somebody. It's a despicable act, honestly.
Now, the perception that human blood equates to financial gains, what are your thoughts in that regard?
Personally, I do not understand why that should be equated, because human blood is, like biology would say, it's a very an important part of our body system. Right?
Yes.
So it flows through our veins and all of that.
So, just like you said, the human blood. What was your question again? Sorry.
I was talking about human blood. How does the need for him to the blood of these children were put in a bottle as part of the need for the sacrifice?
Yeah.
Where does the concept that if you are holding someone's blood, it makes you wealthy by spiritual means? Where do we gather that concept from?
This is Africa, and then we believe that blood signifies someone, right?
Right.
So for every blood, it simply means you've taken that person's soul. So the blood is synonymous to somebody's soul. So we can say, okay, if we have a portion of somebody's blood, that's the person's soul, life, and everything that belongs to that person. So we believe that, okay, for wealth to be created, somebody has to go down. So that's why that school of thought is there currently, precisely in Africa, because it's only in Africa that we see things like this. You kill somebody to have more wealth. Like we do in Nollywood. If you watch Nollywood, you see that a lot, where a married man would use his mother's wife or children for rituals and then to get more wealth, because that's what the diabolical system believes in. So once you take a human blood, helps you to multiply wealth. So
now you just rightly, took us to the direction of the cases in Nollywood. Nollywood has now banned the making of such movies that states that, you can make money. But then people do not forget having seen a scene that, okay, so person was in this gang or in this group and, rituals were done and they made money. Do you think that has affected this generation of growing adults? As regards, this guy is 27, so much in front of him, so much expectation, so much to do, so much to think, especially if you look at what the economy and the society has become, a lot to learn as regards tech spaces, a lot to do. Some people just sit online at home and do, you know, reviews and surveys and make little bucks here and there. Now, lots of ideas as regards how to succeed, but now the pressure of this. Do you think that those movies kind of has created a track record that youth are now following?
Well, I would say that to an extent, yes, but that I'll give it 30% because as it is right now, the modern day technology has actually helped us in moving away from that idea. For me personally, I believe that people who engage in rituals and stuff like this are people who are not intellectually smart, right? Because even people in universities right now, with their smartphones, they go on TikTok and they make serious money. Because to an extent, they have a certain level of knowledge.
Now, I want to point out to the incident I mentioned with the young boy. We've had so many university students also doing rituals, you know, cutting off people's parts, right? Now, do you think it's because they're not intellectually sound, or they don't know of this opportunity? They do know of these opportunities, but then again, success doesn't come overnight. It's a slow process. Even if you want to start up a channel on TikTok, like you rightly said, you need followers, you need people to be interested in you. Do you think people have lost the patience to wait, and why do you think that is? Why do you think people are now in a hurry? The get rich quick syndrome and mindset. Where do you think it stems from?
I think all of them boils down to social media.
Okay.
Because let me take myself for an example, right? I go on social media every single day, right? And then I see a lot of amazing lifestyles. And then I'll be like, okay, I want to live this life, right? And then if you look at what you're doing at the moment, what you're doing may not give you that lifestyle that you want. Because we have a lot of celebrities on social media that are misleading Nigerians. They go as far as hiring Prado jibs, going on vacations and all of that. So once you go online, and then, you know, celebrities, they have fans. If you check on social media, they have 4 million, 5 million, 6 million followers. And then, you know, the way the mind works, right? Once you keep seeing a particular thing every single day, your attention is now drawn into what you're seeing, and then you'll be like, okay, I can actually live this life because they don't have two heads. I have one, they have one. So that's where the syndrome that you talked about comes in. Okay. Yes, and peer pressure as well. Okay. So my office is situated in university campus, right? And then I see a lot of students every single day. And then some of them, they have cars. When I was in school, I didn't have a car. I didn't even have a bicycle to start with. You understand? But now you see students, they have cars. And then, okay, let's say, for example, you're my classmate, right? And then you have a car. I don't have a car. And then I see you every day, you ball in school. You come with cars, you take all the girls, you take them around and all of that. I'd be like, what think this guy gets right? No get, you understand? And then your attention is now drawn to things like this. You understand? And then when you now make inquiries, there's this babalawo somewhere in Port Harcourt. If you just get 1 or 2 persons and then go run out. Do you understand those kind of things? Yeah. So I think 1, social media, and 2, peer pressure.
So what are your thoughts as regards values? Now, why am I pointing towards values? If all of us go out and say, okay, because we want to live the life on social media, everybody will be dead, don't you think?
Yes, definitely.
Right. What values do you think hold back the people that have decided not to practice these things? Do you think is their upbringing? Right? Do you think certain values were placed in their mindset? When for some of us, when we're growing up, it's usually a step-by-step process. You get out of this, you get this, you're expected to go through the university. Maybe where you did your youth service, you might have a retainership. You might not have, then you carry your CV and start moving up and down the town and trying. But the whole idea that comes with what I'm trying to say, though funny, you find out that at the end of the day, the idea that, okay, I'm still going to succeed in this. There's always this, well, tomorrow is also a good day to start. Tomorrow is still a good day to try. But right now, you find out that with the youths we have now, many people have kind of lost patience in the system. People don't want to keep trying, right? Now, do you think that the people that still strive and want to try, do you think it comes from their values of upbringing? Do you think it comes from, you know, personal conviction or personal decisions, as it were? Or do you think they're just still holding on to hope and keeping hope alive?
Well, I think everything comes into play. Personal upbringing, right? So there are some children where they have very strict parents, and then Probably the parents provide for them. Whatever they need, the parents are always there to provide. And then for some of them, their upbringing, they were actually told that this is right and this is wrong. Some parents are very strict when it comes to letting their children know on societal morals and all of that. So upbringing too is a serious part of it. And then I think to an extent, I feel you may not agree with me, but I think the church also has played a major role in that too, because we go to church and then we hear the word of God, and then we are now made to believe that when the time is right, you understand, God would manifest himself in our lives.
Right.
So we have a majority of the older ones going to church. So that way, it has helped us to understand that all things will be made right when it is time for God to do so.
But there's still some people that attend church that still told this route. There's a case of Temilei that actually was a singer in a church. I mean, he even had a whole gospel album out there. But he went and brought a lady into his house. Adaidu butchered this lady like a piece of meat. Did the word of God not flow through him then?
Well, it did, right? It did. But there's this I want to blow mentality, right? Probably he feels that he has been doing music for a long time, and then he has the amazing voice.
Right.
Do you understand? And he's not like, why is he not out there? Just like we have the Messichinwa and the rest of them. Why is he not out there? Do you understand? And then he's not like, what do these guys have that I do not have? Do you understand? Because sometimes when we feel we are better than somebody, we place ourselves and the other person on a table, and then we wait and say, okay, I have this, person doesn't have this, but how come this person is where he or she is right now? Meanwhile, I have I am gifted more than this person.
Now, when we do this comparison, do we factor in time? Now, what I mean by time is, now let me talk about it a little bit from a religious perspective as regards time and chance.
Yes.
Also, the time, you find out that, Mo Abudu.
Yes, Mo Abudu.
Right,
yes.
She looks beautiful.
Yes.
She's succeeding a lot.
Yes,
I mean, she's out there, she's smart and all of that. Now, you see someone in Uniports just trying to find way, and she wants to be wearing Mo Abudu's hair.
Wearing her heels.
Wearing her heels.
Out of it.
She wants to wear her heels. She wants to wear that all white. You would see that Mo Abudu has thrived over time. And then comes in the idea of experience, because the experience Mo has, someone in Uniport does not have that experience.
Definitely.
So why do you think we are jumping the gun? Now, when you place a minister on the same pedestal, your voice might even sound better. But now the idea that probably this person started early, you will not take away also the idea of time and chance.
Yes.
Probably the person hasn't yet been in a place of opportunity to succeed in that regard as well as the other person has succeeded. But moving forward, I want to gather your thoughts as regards the glorification of wealth.
Okay.
In a system where nobody questions how anybody gets money. Even when you see certain posts on social media and someone goes, how did this person make you? Everybody is bullying that person. You did not ask the person how the person was poor. Do you think that has also made people impatient to wait? Because nobody asks. Now, someone takes an iPhone 16 and they are in school and their school fees isn't paid for them by their parents. Nobody asks, how do you get money to buy iPhone 16? Yes. iPhone 16 is almost 2 million naira. So how do you get the money to buy it? But nobody asks. Do you think that this new, pardon my use for lack of better language, I don't care mentality by both societal people and oftentimes even parents at home, do you think it has prompted this a little bit more, the expectation of, this wealth glorification? When you go to parties, you see that the people that have more money are giving preferences, but nobody even asks how this money is gotten. Do you think that has also added to the pressure that youth currently face?
Yes, most definitely. I would tell you for a fact that as crazy as it may sound, right, if you don't have a 3-camera iPhone, you can't mingle. I'm not kidding. Like, you can't mingle amongst your friends. You'll be like, what are you using? For example, somebody's using an XR. You understand? And then we all know it's a single camera. And then, hello, what are you doing in that circle? You understand? So, to an extent, we've glorified these things.
And even though the XR can equally take pictures, it can take phone calls, it can
Yes.
send messages.
Well, it's not 3 camera. It has to be 3 camera.
Wow.
Or it has to be the 16 has it 2 camera. Do you understand?
Right.
Yes. So we've made some of these things a god over our lives. Do you understand? So that's why this thing that you're talking about, nobody cares. Some person will even go as far as telling you that you don't pay my bills, so you don't have the right whatsoever to ask me how I got the money to afford whatever I have at the moment.
Right.
Do you understand?
You know, when you talk about this like that, you remember now we are in the Gen Z era, like they usually say. For us millennials, when we're growing up, you find out that you were a community project, as it were. We had a more communal system.
Yes.
Someone sees me, for example, standing at the corner of the road by after 7, and maybe I'm laughing away with some person. My father expects you to actually give me a good spank to go back home, or actually pull me by the ear. Now, do you think if we kept to that level of morality and value as it was in those days, we won't have come to this stage where we are, where somebody says, oh, you're not the boss of me, you don't pay my bills? That is what we have going on now.
Yes.
Do you think values have been lost over the years?
Yes, we've lost a lot of values and morals, to be honest with you. And it's really affecting our society, how we live, the things we do, the things we see, and every other thing that comes with it. It has actually affected our values, to be honest with you.
All right, sadly so. Now, we have an organization, different organizations. We have the non-profits, we have Ministry of Women and Children Affairs, we have all of these laws. These children are 7, so they're supposed to be backed up by the Child Rights Act. We have the Violence Against People's Prohibition Act, all of those laws, right? Also, we have an agency, NOA, National Orientation Agency. Do you think that their voices are amplified enough as regards, especially because I, for one, I haven't seen anybody that made any money from ritual that has come out to say, oh, this is my success. I can say I killed somebody and made this money. Now, if ritualistic processes of success is not a vetted approach, so do you think these organizations, or do you think they are doing a good job as regards how loud their voices are? And if they aren't, do you think more awareness as regards this is a dead end? Do you think such awareness should be made, both to young people in the universities? I remember back then when they say no to drugs, you see it everywhere. But these days we don't, these days we don't see, we don't see as much.
That clean it. They clean it. If it's stickers, if it's signposts, they pull it off.
Right, but do they still do that now? As much as when I was in school, it was all over the place. There were big banners about it. Now, in this case of ritual, do you think more groundwork should be done as regards telling people that this process doesn't really work? The only process that works for success is hard work, because nobody has come up with a vetted result and said, oh, I killed someone to succeed. Do you think this organization should come together and factor a way where their voices will be more amplified in this regard?
Well, I would answer that question, but there's something you said. You said if anybody has actually come out to say that, okay, my wealth is as a result of
ritual
killings and all of that. The reason why nobody will come out is because that process is not a legitimate process.
Right.
Do you understand? So it is illegitimate. So once you come out and say that, oh, I killed somebody, you're straight to prison, because it is not a legitimate way of making money. So those who venture into those practices, they keep it on a low profile.
Right.
Because if for any reason they get, whatever they're doing gets outside, they go straight to jail, because just like the law says, killing a fellow Nigerian is abominable.
Daniel, I want to ask you one question before we, conclude on the second arm of the question, I asked you prior. You as an individual, do you think money rituals can give someone money? By your beliefs, you as a person, do you think someone's blood equates to wealth?
I do not believe that, because the Babalawo himself,
right?
What is he still doing there? So if you can actually make money, so why not do it and then leave that practice? Do you understand? Because if you say, okay, you can help people gain wealth, so I feel like sometimes I feel like I want to be selfish, right? If I know that this thing will give me money, I'm not supposed to announce it. I'm supposed to just do my thing and then make my money and go on. But then these guys, they keep announcing it. So it simply means that this wealth is not good. It won't stand the test of time.
Right.
Do you understand? So I feel like generational wealth cannot be made from this. Cannot be made from ritual killings, because even the Babalawo himself, he's not supposed to be doing that. He's supposed to be one of the richest men in Africa.
All right.
If you understand? Yeah.
Now, to the second arm of the question, as you guys, do you think their voices are amplified enough? What are your thoughts on that?
They are not. They are not, because most of our systems, the pillars. Okay, let me say the powers that be, right? To an extent, they are the ones involved in it. To an extent, yes, the powers that be, because most of these arms, right, they have people in power that are heading some of these units and all of that. So you cannot tell people not to do this thing. Meanwhile, you are also a culprit. Do you understand? So it's more like you're guilty of a certain thing, and then so you may not have the balls or the temerity to say, okay, stop doing this,
Right.
because you at the back end, this is what you do for a living. Do you understand? So
when you say at the back end, now there is an intersectionality between ritual killing, like it was presented in Nollywood, and ritual killing as it is currently now presented in organ harvesting. Which of them do you think there is the back end to?
that's a very tough question. I would say
Because for ritual killing in Nollywood, you find out that people are killed, and you know, they even blindfold the people in the movies and take them to the place and all of that. Right now, people are butchered into pieces. Why do you think that is?
I think those ones that are being butchered, right? I feel like those organs are sold individually. Do you understand? Those organs are sold individually. For example, the heart, the kidney, and all of that, those are sold individually. So once you get them sold, you make extra money. So that's why there's organ harvesting. Do you understand? Because killing somebody, okay, yes, you kill the person, you take the blood to the ritualists, and then they do all sorts of incantations and whatever they do, and then your wealth is there. So, but those organs are being harvested, they are sold. So that's more like an extra wealth to what you're doing, because Nollywood has made us to believe that in order for your wealth to keep multiplying, you have to keep doing these rituals. Do you understand?
Sadly.
So sadly, yes. So that's what Nollywood has made us to believe, and I think in real sense, that's what it is, because you have to keep washing the ground that you walk on. Yes.
Sadly so. Thank you so much for your insight.